Well, I have a source, and that source is me and my gut feeling. And I hear that Aaron Rodgers had another ayahuasca trip, and he envisioned himself still in green, that being the New York Jets. We got Aaron Rodgers going to the darkness abyss, darkness retreat, whatever you want to call it. Hopefully he sees gangrene in there, which you're thinking he's going to see someone else, which is a little silly, but go ahead, say your point, I guess. But
100%. He's going down there. It's going to be pitch black. The only thing he's going to see is a silver lining, which is obviously the Las Vegas Raiders, home of Devontae Adams.
Yeah, no, or wears night vision goggles, which is smart because then he can see stuff, see his food, see the bathroom, all that stuff. Night vision goggles, everything's green. So New York Jets green, that is. So I think comes out of there, vision's cleared. He's gonna be a New York Jet. There's no reason to even keep on talking about this. He's gonna be a Jet. If he gets New York a Super Bowl, greatest of all time. That's all. I'm just gonna leave it there.
Yeah. As we basically just said, Aaron Rodgers, that's an interesting story. We don't know where he's going to go yet. He really hasn't said anything.
We know exactly where he's going to go. I just said the Jets, yes.
I still think he's going to go to Las Vegas, but we'll see.
Hey guys, welcome back for another episode of the 2 Minute Warning. I'm Blake Showalter.
And I'm Benton Diaz.
And welcome, Aaron Rodgers, to the New York Jets. I'm almost a loss for words. I've had a couple days to really take this in. I made an emergency announcement on our Instagram page, which if you don't follow us, 2 Minute Warning with underscore on it on Instagram, just definitely follow that. But Aaron Rodgers and the gangrene, he saw green when he was in the darkness. I was right. I've been calling this, Beto. Take it away real quick. Take it away.
Blake is beyond words, as you can tell. He needs a moment to gather himself. But yes, Aaron Rodgers came out on the Pat McAfee show, I believe last Wednesday, and said that he would like to play for the New York Jets. That's where he sees himself in the future. And as long as the Jets can make the list of demands that everyone obviously knows, the Jets are trading like crazy for Allen Lazard and a few other weapons, and maybe even getting Odell Beckham Jr., Aaron Rodgers, more than likely, if the Jets can make a decent trade, will have Aaron Rodgers before the start of the 2022-2023 season, or 2023-2024 season. It's going to be intense, crazy. I'm excited for it. Obviously, with weapons like Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, all of even Allen Lazard now. I'm excited. What do you think about that?
These hands are going to look so good with the ring on them. Going to the Super Bowl, baby. I can't wait. Oh, my God. We got Aaron Rodgers, possibly the greatest of all time after he wins the Super Bowl with the Jets, which he's going to, obviously. He's got the Rookie of the Year, Garrett Wilson, on his side now. Could have a 3,000-yard season, as I predicted earlier when we talked about this earlier. I just can't wait. I'm so excited. I think he's going to play for 2 years now. Whether the big topic is now, who are the Jets going to give to the Packers for Aaron Rodgers? That's the big thing now. And I think we give him a sack of change, maybe a second-round pick. I think Elijah Moore might be going there, which there's been some drama in there in the past. So as long as we got Aaron Rodgers, you can take Elijah Moore. It's fine. I love Elijah Moore. 8-ball. Loved him since we got him in the second round back 2 years ago in the draft. But you know what? If it costs Aaron Rodgers, if it takes Elijah Moore to get Aaron Rodgers, take him. Just take him. It's fine.
I believe the saying in the Jets fan base now is Aaron Rodgers above all. So regardless of what it takes, whether it be Aaron Rodgers' list of demands or whether it be just the amount of cash that Aaron Rodgers is worth, just pay it. Give him whatever he wants as long as he is on the Jets. And it's one of another crazy moves in a big list of free agencies that's happening this season.
Yeah, but Aaron Rodgers is a Jet, man. Oh, my God.
Just some noteworthy things. The Bears and the Panthers made a huge trade recently. The Panthers now have the number 1 pick, but the Bears, they kind of slashed them. I think the Bears got the better end of this deal. They traded the number 1 pick for 4 draft picks in the future and wide receiver DJ Moore, giving Justin Fields a receiver to throw to, and obviously like a bunch of future talent. Who knows about the Carolina Panthers' future whenever it comes to all their draft picks basically being sold to the Bears? But I'm excited. This is a great year of football. Obviously, Jimmy Garoppolo to the Raiders, Derek Carr to the Saints, as we mentioned on our last week's episode. A lot still left on the table. I think Baker Mayfield might be signing with the Bucs, up in the air, but Lamar Jackson's still on the table. I don't know. This is going to be a crazy offseason.
I agree, man. 6'2", born December 2nd, 1983. Aaron Rodgers, New York Jets quarterback. But yeah, what you're talking about, that's crazy. Yeah, it definitely has been a crazy offseason. Like you were talking about earlier, the Panthers giving up a whole lot to have that first-round draft pick, which I don't think there's a whole lot in return coming their way. I mean, Bryce Young, there's word coming out, like I was watching the Pat McAfee show earlier today, that he just thinks differently. He's able to digest information like crazy. Like, give him a day's worth of time, he's able to digest it and perform the next day, which is great. I mean, he has a good head on his shoulders. That's awesome. You really want that in a quarterback, especially nowadays when the quarterback position, you need greatness, and you need to understand complex formations and understand what the defense is doing at all times, which is going to be huge if Bryce Young can do that. But of course, everybody's worried about his physical stature, what he's going to be able to do with that 5'10" build, not the biggest of hands, but he's fast. He looked really good against Bama, and I think a really good point to be made is that he wasn't going against small defenders when he was playing Georgia. In practice every single day, Alabama didn't have small guys he was going up against, so I think he'll do fine. He was going up against big guys his entire career. He's in the toughest conference in all football, that is SEC for college, obviously. But, yeah, I think he's going to be fine. I think you got guys like Kyler out there. You got Tua out there. So the smaller quarterback, Drew Brees, of course, future Hall of Fame quarterback. I think the smaller size is not going to play a factor as much as people think it's going to.
Yeah, definitely something to think about looking at the list of options like you mentioned. Other than Bryce Young, I mean, there's C.J. Stroud in there, but it doesn't look like a lot in return for the Carolina Panthers, especially saying that they're going to go with Sam Darnold. It's just, I don't think it's a good pick for them. I think they should have stuck with all the draft picks that they had, left the number 1 pick to the Chicago Bears. Just really interesting situation. I don't think they did the right move, honestly.
I will say, just to finish off NFL, I think the Bears made the right call and not trading Justin Fields, which there were some rumors that might have been happening. I think it was the right call to keep him. Finally build around a quarterback for a long period of time. But moving on, we got to recap them UFC fights, man. Kamaru Usman losing against Leon Edwards in their second fight. Did not see that one coming at all, man.
No, not at all. Kamaru Usman came in there winning 7 out of the 8 rounds that he had fought Leon Edwards in. And Leon, obviously getting the knockout and becoming the welterweight champion. It did not look very good for him. Usman walked in there as a minus 275 favorite and then was quickly put out in the first round. It looked like Edwards was going to continue this dominance, and it was back and forth. And I honestly thought it could have gone to a draw. That's how close it was. But Edwards ended up coming out with the win. Just crazy fashion. Crazy place to put the welterweight division. But, man, that fight was really close.
And real quick, this is kind of off topic, and it might be too early to call, but I was a huge Tyron Woodley fan, followed him throughout his entire career, whether that was Strikeforce, early UFC days, but I feel like these fighters are hitting a point where they're just not the same way they used to be. And you hear about those problems with his knees, you hear about those problems with his mobility and stuff like that with Kamaru Usman, and I think that kind of showed in this last fight. I don't think he looked like the same fighter he used to be. Whether he had a bad camp or something like that, we don't know, but I think he's kind of on his way out, unfortunately. I hate to say that because there was GOAT status talk before this fight, or before this first fight, that is.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. He was on a 15-fight winning streak, about to break Anderson Silva, the 16-fight winning streak, obviously, unbeaten in the UFC, the number 1 guy in the UFC when it comes to win streak. But Leon Edwards came in there, head kick, and it's over. And he just, like you said, doesn't seem like the same guy. He didn't have the same ferocity, the same intensity, the same power behind his punches, the same viciousness in his takedowns. It almost seems like you said he's on his way out. I think they give him a few more fights. He might win, maybe get back in title contention. Who knows? The UFC does have a tendency to take pretty decent care of their veterans as long as they're on a win streak. But who knows? We'll have to see. It's an interesting place to put the welterweight division in, as we have a ton of contenders, and obviously one of your personal favorites, Colby Covington, right up there in talks for a title shot.
I wouldn't say personal favorites. I don't want to get cyberbullied online for liking Colby Covington after all the things you said, but as a fighter, I do like his style. I think he actually wins that fight against Leon Edwards. I think the only thing standing in his way was a healthy Kamaru Usman, and now I think stylistically he matches up very well against Leon Edwards, and I think he might take the belt. But you got a guy in Khamzat who can, if he makes weight, I think he's going to be the dog in that division for a very long time, being how young he is as well.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. Colby Covington, all that pace, all that pressure, all the wrestling, even the power, he's not afraid to scrap. And as we know, Leon Edwards can scrap, but I don't know if he can wrestle at that pace that Colby Covington wrestles. If that fight does happen, it's interesting to call. I'd say it's 50-50. Leon might come in with a slight advantage just because he is the champion. He's been fighting more active fighters. But if Colby does immediately get the title shot, which is kind of interesting to me, I don't know why. But I think just because he's Colby Covington, obviously, he would have to get the title shot. I think it would go to a decision, whether it be Colby tires out Leon and ends up winning in the later rounds, or Leon finds a way, just like he always does, as he's been an underdog in like 4 of his last 5 fights. I think it'll be close, but I agree with you. I think Colby Covington could come out here with a welterweight title on his shoulders.
Yeah, for sure, and there's a lot to look forward to, of course, in the UFC. But next up, we got March Madness, and the madness is real, man. So many upsets. My bracket is completely busted. There's no saving that thing. I mean, but the good thing is that everybody in my league right now, their brackets are also busted, except for my friend's girlfriend, who picked random teams and somehow only has one wrong, which is absolutely unreal. But enough of that. These games have been unreal. I mean, Creighton pulling off a couple upsets, Princeton pulling off 2 upsets, absolutely unreal. And then also FDU Who would have saw them coming out of nowhere? I mean, it's been insane.
Yeah, just absolutely out of nowhere. This year has been the year of upsets. I think within 3 rounds, like within the first 3 rounds, there are 0 perfect brackets left. And it's like a shocker. Like you mentioned, Arizona getting out of there to Princeton, Purdue losing to FDU, and just Virginia losing to Furman. Everything has been madness, like you mentioned. And for some people, March Sadness.
I even forgot about Virginia for a second, man. I mean, you got Michigan State also winning against Marquette, which I had Marquette going pretty far. You had Duke losing. I had Duke going to the Final Four off that long win streak they were going off of, and there's everything that I thought was going to happen didn't happen. So I think I have them with everybody, though. So I'm not too upset about it. The sadness is there, but, I mean, the perfect bracket is kind of dead.
Yeah, sad. We won't get that $1 billion challenge that everyone keeps talking about year after year after year, but who knows? Maybe one day. Maybe one day there will be one perfect bracket.
Maybe one day, man.
Yeah. But looking forward to March Madness. I mean, there's still a lot of dogs left. I mean, we got Alabama and San Diego State playing, Houston and Miami playing, Xavier and Texas playing, Creighton and Princeton. That's a weird game. I did not expect that.
Not at all.
FAU and Tennessee, Arkansas, UConn, Gonzaga, UCLA, Kansas State, Michigan State. A lot of really good games to look forward to.
And I got the Zags taking it all. That's been my initial prediction of the entire bracket. I think they're finally due. Everybody says they choke. They do choke, obviously, but they're due. They got to win eventually, man. And I think right now the bracket is wide open for them, except for Alabama, who they've been looking absolutely insane, crushing everybody in their path. But I like the Zags still.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to agree with you on what you said about Alabama. Alabama have been playing absolutely insane, beating every opponent that they faced this year by 20 in March Madness. And I know you're keen on Gonzaga, but they're playing UCLA, and UCLA is known for basketball. I think they're going to keep going. I honestly see UCLA and Alabama, the matchup in the final. It would not be crazy to me if they were there. But also, it wouldn't be crazy to me as if anyone was in the final. This year has just been so unpredictable, so crazy. Any team could win it. Any team could go. Even Little Princeton, 15 seed. I'm psyched for them. I'm really excited to see where they go in the future.
Yeah, but real quick, just talk to you about UCLA. The last time UCLA was relevant was when Josh Rosen was their quarterback, and we all know how that worked out. So I'm not too keen on UCLA. Don't really care about them. Not really worried. I think the Zags are still going to win it all. But one team I do want to talk about real quick is Houston. They are kind of worrying me. A lot of teams have them going to their finals. I have them in my Final Four. They would be the home team because the finals are in Houston, which would be nuts. But they've been looking kind of rough. Had a rough game against Northern Kentucky, almost losing that one, and then kind of rallying back. Had a 20-point victory against Auburn. They looked really good there, but have some tough opponents coming up. I don't think they're going to make it. I don't know how far they're going to go. I think they might win their next game, but as far as the Elite Eight goes, I think they might lose that one.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. Houston is one of those teams that kind of reminded me of Purdue. Like, high hopes, shaky expectations going forward, and Purdue lost in the first round, and Houston almost did too. So Miami could pull out a win here, or Houston could go on. Who knows? Like I said, the most unpredictable year of March Madness maybe ever. This year has just been absolutely crazy.
Yeah, man, it's going to be absolutely crazy. I can't wait to watch it. But that's pretty much all I have for this episode, man. You have anything else?
All good here.
Well, I'm Blake Showalter.
And I'm Beto Vacadillas.
Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. Make sure to follow us at the Southeast Arrow on Instagram, Facebook. Obviously, subscribe to our channel down below. Also, follow us at the 2-Minute Warning on Instagram. It's 2-Minute Warning with _ on it. Make sure to check that out. We post reels every once in a while. Good stuff there. But see you guys next time. Thanks for tuning in.